January 31st, it's Monday. Hello, everybody. Oceania, Middle East, North Africa, APAC South all played this weekend along with North America. I put up a poll earlier last week. Yo, who has the best chance to repeat this weekend as champs? And as y'all can tell, SRG, Sandrock, they took a lot of the votes. NRG, lol, took some as well. Dire Wolves, 3 rats, small amounts. But let's take a look at what happened this last weekend with those teams. We're just going to go in time zone order, so Oceania is first. Taking a look at the group stage. Group A, Ground Zero wildcard clarity, all advanced. Physicists do not. Ground Zero is looking way better this event than they did in the previous event. They obviously beat wildcard in this one as opposed to last one where they got swept by them in groups. Group B, Renegades looking really solid there. Happy to see that they're still on top. Team Bliss takes a step back this week, I'm pretty sure, in terms of their performance. 1620 Kings, Team Bliss, and Renegades make it out. Group C, the Juiced Bandit boys, Hawk, Sprat, and Zaid, they go 9-2. They beat Forkidden, the team that took second last regional event. And Forkidden, obviously, they go second in groups, beating Big Goose and Eclipse. But yeah, I'd say pretty standard stuff. And then Group D, same thing. Riot Gaming, Dire Wolves, Trident Esports. I'd say Riot is one of those teams that just can't perform in the playoffs right now. They're doing really great in groups. They prove it here by going 9-1 in games. They only drop a single. They swept Dire Wolves, so they swept the previous regional champs. Depth in OCE looking pretty solid. We're in the playoff brackets here, looking at low round one. Everything's pretty normal other than Team Bliss sweeping wildcard. I'd say that one can go either way. Sicky's on wildcard gaming. He's a former OCE MVP, so kind of tough to say there. Lower round twos, Dire Wolves and Forkidden. They're them lower bracket boys. Upper semifinals, Ground Zero sweeps Riot Gaming. Riot Gaming, just not a playoff team. And then Renegades go 4-3 against Juiced Bandits. Big series there for Renegades. Juiced Bandits were on match point for 2 games and they just couldn't pull it out. Renegades advanced to the upper bracket final. We head into the lower quarters, and after a 7-game series against Renegades, Juiced Bandits just can't show up. It's a really low scoring series, but they get swept by Dire Wolves and they're out 5th, 6th again. I want to see Juiced Bandits make that 3rd, 4th spot. I think they can. They're not there like Dire Wolves and Forkidden have been. So Riot Gaming and Juiced Bandits are like the same thing. They're great in groups. They just can't perform in the playoffs. So Forkidden beat Riot Gaming, and then lower semis, Forkidden beat Dire Wolves. So the Regional 1 champ knocked off Forkidden, making a run at least a 3rd place spot at this point. Super Lucky, Scrub, and Banana Head looking really great as a roster. I'm surprised no one's picked them up yet. Upper bracket final, Renegades versus Ground Zero, a battle that we've seen all before. Renegades get the revenge from the fall major, take down Ground Zero in 7 games. Great series. Renegades just looked like the better team throughout the entire thing, I'd say. And then Ground Zero just kind of had to fight back. Heading to lower bracket final, Forkidden is riding the wave. They get Ground Zero coming off a loss, and they take them to business. They put them down. Forkidden, they are that team. They are playoff lower bracket boys. They deserve all the hype. They're great. And then grand finals, not as lucky as their previous endeavors, but they go 4-1. They score 6 goals in the game against Renegades, but Renegades, your OCE Regional 2 champs. Great performance from them. Happy to see them on top of the rankings again. They're easily my favorite OCE team, I'd say. Really like CJ, I really like Kami, and then Fever is just nuts. So hopefully they perform well in Winter Regional 3 and they can attend the Winter Major. We head on over to APAC South. This one, compared to APAC North, I'd say this region has a little bit less depth. So looking at groups, 3 Rats and Dark Rift in the same group is tough. Dark Rift has a former player from the 3 Rats, which was on Pulse, Bellaris. So 3 Rats have Chaotic now instead of him, and they still win in regionals. They won last week. They went 3-0 in groups. Is the 2nd place team from the last event. They go 3-0 in groups. Moon Boots, Godspeed, these teams, you can tell that the lack of depth is there. Obviously, it's a new region. They'll get there. We head into lower rounds. NSF, Ajamanji, Dark Rift, and Orglis all take out their opponents. Lower round 2, Dark Rift is going on a tear here. If you can't tell, they're just popping off. They're disgusting. Heading to the upper semifinals, 3 Rats versus Godspeed. 3 Rats make quick work of them, and beat Moon Boots. I'd expect upper bracket final to always be 3 Rats, or even Dark Rift in there instead of Yeah, everything going pretty much according to plan. APAC South here. So we head into the lower quarterfinals. Godspeed moving into they're coming off a loss. NSF riding the wave, coming to them from those lower round 1s and 2s. They beat Godspeed in 6 games. The momentum is just insane going on lower bracket runs. Dark Rift takes care of Moon Boots. I would definitely have expected this knowing the roster here. But Dark Rift take out NSF in the lower semifinals, ending the Cinderella run for NSF, basically. Balearis, Poofy, and Sikio take down NSF. So with Dark Rift in the lower bracket final being decided, we need to find out who their opposition is going to be. So between 3 Rats and you'd be hard to find someone who would bet against 3 Rats, I'd say. They look great. They're definitely the top of this region. They defeat in 5 games in the lower bracket final, and then Dark Rift pull out a sweep. So they beat the second place team from the last event and put them in a good spot to get second place themselves, maybe even first if they can pull off an upset. They don't.
Have done it. They have won another regional. The unbeaten power. The Monarchs will stay on their throne undefeated in the play of 3 Rats. They can crown themselves victor yet another time, and they are...
3 Rats are the GOATs of APAC South. There's just no way, shape, or form about it. We head to MENA, Middle East, North Africa. Looking at groups. Sandrock, normal. Undefeated in groups. Falcon Esports only lose a single game. I'd say, yeah, like looking at the competition here, like there's just the depth. There's about 6 teams I'd say can keep competition steady here in MENA right now. So Sandrock, Falcons Esports, the Ultimates, Sites, Anka, and then Forest Hunters, or even Revolution maybe. Just taking a look at like the game differentials here. The Ultimates actually drop a series to T2K, which is beyond me. The Ultimates should go 3-0 in this group, so the depth is there. Group D definitely was the toughest group, I'd say. Sites and Anka together, I could see either of them taking this group. So we go into lower round 1. Force Hunters, Kings, the Evil Esports, and then Anka advance. Anka getting T2K, that's a tough draw for T2K after they beat the Ultimates, and then they just kind of a crappy draw against Anka. Anka's a new roster that they just picked up Sleeping. That roster is Faisal, T7LM, and then Brownie. Faisal is definitely like a really great player. So with them in the lower quarterfinals, we need to find out who is going to face them, the losers of the upper semifinals. And I know y'all see it. Sites give Sandrock Gaming their first ever series lost in Middle East North Africa's history. Crazy series, intense. Evil, IX, or 9. I don't know if it's a Roman numeral. And then FAD, they're crazy good. Definitely starting to compete pretty well. They take down Sandrock. Then the Falcons beat the Ultimates. Falcons definitely looking like the second or third best team in MENA right now. So you head into lower quarterfinals. Sandrock, this is a place that they're not supposed to be. This is unprecedented for them. Like, there's no way, shape, or form that they thought that they would be here. They beat Forest Hunters, and then Anka beat the Ultimates pretty handily there. Now we're into the lower semifinals. Sandrock versus Anka. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm like nervous about it. I apologize if I'm not. ANKAA. I assume I am, but like, you never know. Sandrock take care of them pretty swiftly. Close games-ish, but you can definitely still tell that there's a disparity there. So with Sandrock in the lower bracket final, we need to find out who they play with between Sites and Falcon Esports. And Sites come out on top in this one, solidifying themselves as the second best team in this region right now. No way, no shape, no form, no doubt in my mind, Sites are better than Falcons Esports. And they show it right there. And then heading to the lower bracket final, Sandrock take care of business, putting themselves back into the grand final. A rematch with Sites. They take care of Falcon Esports. Falcons, they're there. They're top 3. It's good depth. It's building the region. Now, Sites have 2 chances to have lightning strike twice, to beat Sandrock again. And they get swept both series. Series 1, not close. Series 2, also not close. So that's just the difference, right? Like, Sites, I think, not necessarily got lucky, but they were peaking when Sandrock might have been at a low point in that upper semifinal. And then Sandrock they're mad that they lost. They're mad that they're not undefeated anymore. And they take down Sites. That's pretty much it. That's the tail of the tape there for Middle East, North Africa. Great all-around Rocket League this entire weekend. I'm really loving the depth coming from a lot of these newer regions. Obviously, Oceania is not a new region, but like, you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of depth being built in all these regions already. But if you enjoy this MENA region recap, please leave a like on the video. It helps out a ton. And subscribe if you are new, because there's going to be lots more content like this heading throughout the winter split and the rest of the RLCS 2021-22 season. With that all being said, this is my RLCS Spotlight. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.